Hello, so we're back with another video, and this time we're going to be talking about one of my OCs and their story. And this is actually going to be more of an in-depth talk about what their story is actually about and what the story follows. And by story, I mean actual written story that I'm working on right now. So let's waste no time and get right into it. Just let me pull up my notes real quick because I forgot to do that. So the main story follows Jax, who's the main character, right? And he's going to be the one who I am drawing on screen. Jax is a mythical creature called an Atorium. So an Atorium is basically a humanoid dragon hybrid, basically. You'll see what they look like on screen. But they're supposed to have wings, and he does not because of a medical deformity. He is basically a odd one out in his tribe due to that. And the thing is, these wingless people, the Alatums, that's what they're called in the book, or story, not book yet. Hopefully it'll be a book one day, but it's not a book yet. I can hope, but not yet. But these Alatums in the story, they are rumored to be dangerous. And he does not exactly do the best at quelling that rumor. He does not do good at stomping out that rumor. He actually feeds into that rumor and makes it a lot worse. That is because Jax is incredibly impulsive. So the problem with being impulsive means that he's also very violent, and because he gets bullied a lot because, he's different from the rest of his tribe. So obviously he's going to get bullied. If you're different, it equals you get bullied. That's kind of the rules of the world. But him giving people these reactions just only makes it worse because obviously if you give people a reaction, they're going to want to do it more. But moving on to the actual plot of the story, he basically gets sick of this tribe and he's like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm going to try and do something different. And so, with a map that he finds that they are not supposed to have, that the Atoriums are not supposed to have, he uses this map to go to a separate tribe or colony. There are separate tribes or colonies scattered throughout the sea, and they're supposed to be separate. They're supposed to be isolated. They're not supposed to talk to each other. So them having this map is a violation of these rules. And so Jack's curiosity and impulsivity makes him go to this island without thinking much of it, and he's just like, you know what, I'm going to try and run away and get away as far away from these people as possible and attempt to try something new. And he does find something new. He finds the Aticians, which is a tribe of these feather-typed creatures. I'll put somewhere on screen. Particularly, he finds interest in one named Vashel, or as he likes to call her, Vash. How they meet is a very big tussle. Basically, Vash is thinking he's a threat and trying to attack them because obviously she's never seen someone who looks different than them before because they're isolated, and he's just wandering around just trying to figure out what to do because he's just ran away, and he's like, okay, now I have to figure out a plan because he did not think this through. But they eventually get to be friends because they find out that they both have this witty sense of humor and they both have this kind of teenage rebellion. They're both teenagers, by the way. They're older teenagers, like 17, 18, in that age range, but they're not adults yet. They still rely on their parents. That's why he has to run away and stuff, because he can't rely on himself and stuff. So I figured I should probably give you guys that bit of tidbit of information. I keep forgetting to include the most important pieces of information. Also, quick disclaimer, all of this stuff is, all rights reserved. You can't just steal this idea and make it your own. I'm already working on it. So, copyright infringement is a thing. So anything you write is automatically kind of your own thing. So I have many drafts of it, and I can prove that I wrote it myself. So please do not even try to steal this idea or post it anywhere. This is my original idea. Just quick disclaimer there. But you might be wondering, what is the actual plot of this story? What's the genre? This is a romantasy, so yes, there is going to be romance between Vash and Jax. Yes, the main character is named Jax. I did steal that from the Amazing Digital Circus, and you can deal with it. I'm probably going to change it eventually. We don't talk about it. Just deal with it. But moving on with the actual story. Gosh, I keep getting distracted. So basically, there is a great deal of fluffy romance in this story, along with a lot of on-the-side conflict before we get into the main conflict of the story. And that is because there's a lot of time that has to pass before we can get into the main conflict of the story, which is Jax getting sick. If you've ever traveled from US to Europe or to another country, you've probably had to get vaccinations because there are diseases in other countries that we are not immune to. The thing is, this is the same thing that happened in this fantasy world, except for Jax did not get any vaccinations because those don't really exist in this world. And so basically, he gets sick. Deathly sick. But he doesn't notice yet, because it is a disease that is very commonly known among the Atician tribe as Ricola. Sorry, I lost it in my notes. I don't know if that's a real name of the sickness. I'm probably going to change it. Again, it's just a placeholder name. But Ricola is basically a slow-acting sickness that passes on, and it's basically, it passes on from natural, just touching and natural interactions. So any type of interaction can spread the disease. So Vash accidentally spread it to Jax, and now they have to try and figure out a cure before it spreads far enough and wide enough that it kills off Jax or his entire tribe. And so that is basically the plot of my story. I'm currently in the second draft of writing, and this is just the bare bones plot of the story. I have not included any of the major details or anything like that so that the story can't be copied or anything like that. I also don't want to include major spoilers or anything like that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and this is the final product of my piece. I love you guys all so much. Please like the video, and thank you so much for watching again. Just, that's a messy outro, but whatever. It works.